لا إله إلا الله.
Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Welcome to our channel. Before the creation of the heavens, the earth, the stars and the angels, there was one act of divine creation that preceded all, the pen called Al-Qalam. The pen is not simply a writing tool, but a divine instrument created by Allah for a higher purpose. It was the first divine creation made by Allah from an essence beyond human comprehension. As narrated in Sahih Muslim Hadith 2939, the initial of things Allah created was the pen. He said to it, "Write." It said, "My Lord, what should I write?" Allah replied, "Write down the decrees of everything that will happen until the hour begins." This pen was commanded to write the decrees of the universe from the beginning of time to the end. It recorded everything, the creation of life, the rise of nations, the course of history, and every single event that would take place. The preserved tablet called Al-Lawh Al-Mahfuz is where these divine records were maintained, and it was written before the creation of the world, marking the pen's role in documenting the divine will. Before going further, a quick update. All our videos are available in both English and Urdu languages on our YouTube channel. You can find them by navigating to our playlists where all our videos are available for your convenience. Now let's continue. The light of Muhammad, the first creation before all. Before the pen, before the heavens, the earth or any creation, there existed the light of Muhammad, the very first creation of Allah. As mentioned in several hadiths and narrated by Ibn Abi Shayba al-Mustadrak, this light was the initial creation of Allah before anything else existed. The first thing Allah created was my light, meaning Nur. Then He created everything else from it. According to the great Sufi scholars like Ibn Arabi, the light of Muhammad was a metaphysical manifestation that served as the foundation of all creation. This light is understood to have been the first thing to emerge in the universe, from which all other elements of creation came forth. Ibn Arabi explains this as the divine energy from which everything else emanates, including the pen and the universe itself. This light is the first cause, the primal source of all things. This light of Muhammad is more than just a beam of physical light. It is a spiritual essence, a manifestation of Allah's divine will. It was this light that illuminated the entire creation and served as a bridge between the unseen and the visible world. Don't miss out last video where we explored a comprehensive overview on the creation of the light of Prophet Muhammad. In our previous videos, we explored the why Allah created the universe, the first creation of Allah, the 7 portals and dimensions of the universe, and discussed where Allah was before He created the universe. If you haven't watched them yet, please do. Now let's continue. The pen's task, writing the divine decrees and human free will. One of the most captivating aspects of the pen is the balance it maintains between divine decree and human free will. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has already written the destinies of every individual, including the events of their lives, their actions, and even their choices. Yet at the same time, humanity has been granted the freedom to make decisions. This presents an intriguing paradox. If everything is already written, then how can humans still possess the ability to choose their actions? The key lies in understanding that Allah's knowledge encompasses all possibilities. He knows the choices that people will make, and thus He has written those down. This doesn't imply that humans are forced into those actions. Rather, it reflects Allah's eternal knowledge of all that will happen. The pen records what will happen, but it does so in a way that is completely in line with the free will Allah has granted. In Qur'an chapter 2 verse 286, Allah states that Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. This verse encapsulates the essence of the relationship between divine decree and human free will. The pen writes the fate of every individual, but Each person is given the choice to act in accordance with their free will, guided by the divine wisdom written long before their birth. This balance reflects the divine justice and mercy of Allah, where every person is accountable for their actions but is also guided toward making the right choices through prophetic guidance. The pen had the monumental task of recording the fate of everything that would occur in the universe. Imam al-Ghazali in his Ihya Ulum al-Din describes the pen's divine mission as being far beyond simply writing down events. It wrote the entire blueprint of the universe, the rise and fall of nations, the birth of every soul, the fall of every leaf, and the ultimate end of the world. As Tafsir al-Tabari explains, the pen is the embodiment of divine knowledge, and through it, Allah's will is made manifest. In a narration of Sahih Muslim, Allah has decreed the fate of all things, and it has been written by the pen in the preserved tablet. This preserved tablet, called Al-Lawh Al-Mahfuz, is a metaphysical record that exists in the realm of the unseen, and in it, the pen inscribed all things. It recorded the decrees of every event, from the moment of creation to the final day when the world will end. The pen records everything, but it does not negate human free will. According to Imam al-Ghazali, the decree of destiny is known to Allah, but humans still retain the freedom to make choices. This divine knowledge does not force humans into actions, but instead records what they will freely choose. Tafsir al-Qurtubi and Sahih Muslim clarify that while the pen records every event, including the fate of each person, the free will of every individual is respected. It is written according to their choices, not predetermined by force. While the pen writes the divine decrees, it does not override human free will. A critical point that arises in the understanding of the pen is that it records what will happen but does not compel anyone to act in a certain way. As discussed in the Hadith literature, in Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2939, everything is written down, yet you have the freedom to choose your path. This is a vital point. The pen's recording of events is not a coercive act. It simply represents the divine knowledge of what will happen based on the free choices of individuals. In other words, Allah's infinite knowledge encompasses all possibilities, and He writes down the outcomes of human choices. As we delve deeper into the concept of the pen, its role in human history and the fate of mankind becomes even more profound. The pen has been a witness to the entirety of creation, recording not only the lives of the prophets, but also the destinies of the entire human race. Through its divine inscription, the pen establishes the pathway each soul must follow from its birth to its final return to Allah. The preserved tablet, Al-Lawh Al-Mahfuz, and the pen. The preserved tablet, called the Al-Lawh Al-Mahfuz, is the place where the pen writes all things. This tablet is beyond time and space, holding the divine decree for every creation, every event, and every soul. It is a perfect record maintained in the presence of Allah, and it contains no errors or changes. Allah mentions in the Quran in chapter 15 verse 9, "Indeed, it is we who have sent down the Quran, and indeed we will be its guardian." The preserved tablet is where Allah has already recorded everything from the beginning of time until the end. The pen's writing of events and decrees on this tablet does not change because it is bound by Allah's eternal knowledge. All things that have happened, are happening, or will happen have been written down. This is part of Allah's perfect and divine will. In Tafsir al-Qurtubi, it is explained that the preserved tablet is the most sacred of all creation because it contains the destiny of all things. The pen wrote on it every single thing from the beginning to the end, including the fates of all people, the rise and fall of nations, and the events of the Day of Judgment. The pen's role in the prophetic tradition. the pen plays a crucial role in the lives of the prophets, particularly Prophet Muhammad. Imam Al-Ghazali explains in his Ihya Ulum al-Deen that the pen's writing is the divine origin of all prophetic messages, including the revelation of the Qur'an. The writing of the Qur'an was not only a spoken act, but also a written one, where the divine words were inscribed through the pen and then revealed to the Prophet for humanity. The pen serves as the link between the divine and the human world, and through it, humanity is connected to divine guidance. Prophet Muhammad, despite his being unlettered, had the divine knowledge revealed to him, and through the pen, the Quran was preserved for all future generations. The act of writing in the context of prophethood represents Allah's will in a material form, a guidance that transcends mere words. The pen and the revelation of prophethood. Another crucial role of the pen is in the revelation of prophethood. The pen wrote down not only the destinies of human beings, but also the coming of prophets. These chosen individuals were sent to guide mankind, and their messages were recorded by the pen before their arrival. The pen, as the instrument of divine will, is responsible for inscribing the names of the prophets, their messages, and their respective missions to lead humanity toward the path of righteousness. For example, Prophet Muhammad, the final messenger, was written into the divine decree from the very beginning. As Imam Al-Qurtubi explains in his tafsir, the coming of Prophet Muhammad was foretold and written by the pen long before his birth. His message was already inscribed in the preserved tablet, and the pen recorded his mission to guide humanity, culminating in the revelation of the Quran. The pen was the first to know, and it had already written the light of Muhammad into the fabric of creation. In Quran chapter 48 verse 29, indeed, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and those with him are forceful against the disbelievers, merciful among themselves. This verse, like many others, was already written by the pen before its eventual revelation, linking the pen's role as a witness to the divine plan and the revelation of Allah's message. The pen's question about Prophet Muhammad. One of the most fascinating aspects of the pen's story is when it asks Allah about Muhammad, the final messenger. This conversation is referenced in Sahih Muslim, where it is said that when the pen was commanded to write the first thing, it asked, "Who is Muhammad and what is his station in your creation?" In response, Allah declared that Muhammad is the light created from his divine essence, the first of all creation, and the most beloved of all his creations. The pen then wrote down the name of Muhammad and all the decrees associated with him. This moment is pivotal, as it establishes the preeminent role of Muhammad in the divine plan. His light was the first thing created, and the pen, as the agent of Allah's knowledge, recorded this first creation in the preserved tablet. This highlights the centrality of Muhammad in the divine order and his importance as the seal of the prophets. The pen writes the first words, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. The first thing that the pen wrote was not just a decree about events, but the foundation of divine truth itself. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, meaning there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. These sacred words are the basis of Islamic faith, and they represent the very core of existence. According to Ibn Arabi and other prominent Sufi scholars, these words are the foundation of all creation. They are not merely a phrase, but the essence upon which the universe stands. They serve as the pillar of existence, for the universe was created in accordance with the oneness of Allah and the finality of Muhammad's prophethood. The light of Muhammad, from which all creation emanates, is intrinsically tied to these words. The first creation, the light, and the first writing of the pen are all interconnected. Sufis believe that this light was the spiritual essence through which the pen wrote the divine decree, making the words of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah the first command of Allah. The unlettered Prophet Muhammad, Despite being the first creation and the bearer of the divine light, Prophet Muhammad was unlettered. He could neither read nor write. This is one of the most miraculous aspects of his prophethood. As Sahih Bukhari narrates, the Prophet could neither read nor write, and Allah made this a sign of his prophethood. His message was not from human sources but directly from Allah. This unlettered condition was a divine sign, confirming that his knowledge and teachings were not of human origin. They were purely divine revelations sent through the angel Jibreel. Muhammad's unlettered nature made his prophethood even more miraculous. He did not rely on any written or oral sources other than the revelations from Allah. The pen writes the names for paradise. On the day of judgment, the unlettered Prophet Muhammad will once again be given the pen, but this time it will not be to record the fate of humanity. Instead, he will write the names of the blessed, those who will enter paradise. Sahih Muslim narrates, on the day of judgment, Prophet Muhammad will be given the pen to write the names of the blessed who will enter paradise. This is a divine honor for the Prophet, who was once unlettered, to now be the one who writes the eternal destinies of the righteous. The Prophet who could not read or write in this world will now hold the pen of eternity and record the names of the righteous souls destined for eternal salvation. The pen and its connection to the Quran. Another profound connection between the pen and the Quran is the act of revelation. The Quran, as the final divine book, was revealed to Prophet Muhammad by Angel Jibreel over a period of 23 years, and the pen is often understood to be a metaphysical instrument through which the divine words were recorded. This is reflected in the Quranic verses. In Quran chapter 96 verse 3 to 5, it is mentioned, read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught man that which he knew not. The pen is mentioned as the tool through which knowledge is imparted, and the act of writing becomes a symbol of wisdom and understanding. It represents the divine process by which knowledge was transferred from the unseen realm to the visible and tangible world. The Quran then is part of this eternal knowledge written by the pen in Surah Al-Qalam, the pen. The Quran mentions the pen in Surah Al-Qalam, where Allah swears by the pen and its significance in the divine plan. In Quran chapter 68 verse 1, Noon, by the pen and what they inscribe. In Tafsir al-Tabari, this swearing by the pen is understood as an indication of the pen's significance in Allah's decree. The pen symbolizes Allah's absolute knowledge and His ability to command and create. The pen is a divine instrument that manifests Allah's will, and its writing in the preserved tablet is the record of everything that exists. The act of writing is also a form of creation, where Allah's knowledge and will are brought into the visible world. Could the light of Muhammad be the ink of the pen? A fascinating question arises. Could the light of Muhammad be the very ink used by the pen to write down the decrees? Ibn Arabi and other Sufi scholars have speculated that the light of Muhammad, as the first creation of Allah, could indeed be the spiritual ink through which the pen wrote the divine decrees. The Noor Muhammadi, as the primary manifestation of Allah's will, could very well be the source from which the decrees of the universe were written, for it is from this light that all creation was born. The day of Qiyamah, the Prophet and the pen. The ultimate task of the pen is to record the final judgment of humanity. On the day of judgment, the pen will play a crucial role in determining the fate of each soul. The names of the blessed and the damned will be inscribed in a divine book, which will be revealed to each person on the day of resurrection. This is recorded in the Quran and the Hadith literature. The deeds of the people will be presented, and each soul will be shown its record. In Quran chapter 18 verse 49, the fate of each will be decreed according to what has been written in the book. On that day, the pen will reveal the divine record, and each person will come face to face with their deeds. The writing of the pen, now fully revealed, will be a witness to everything a person has done, from the beginning of their life to the very last moments. On the day of Qiyamah, the unlettered Prophet Muhammad will again take the pen to write the names of those destined for paradise. As Sahih Muslim narrates, on the day of judgment, Prophet Muhammad will be given the pen to write the names of the blessed who will enter paradise. This moment marks a divine reversal, where the unlettered Prophet becomes the one who writes the eternal destinies of the righteous. This powerful act emphasizes the fulfillment of Allah's plan and the miraculous nature of the Prophet's life and mission. The pen was the first creation, chosen by Allah to record the divine decrees of all things, from the creation of the world to the final day of judgment. The light of Muhammad was the first essence created by Allah, and it is through this light that the pen was able to write the divine decrees. The pen and its role in the universe's blueprint. The pen and the light of Muhammad serve as the very foundation of Allah's universe building blueprint. As the pen inscribed the decrees of all that would exist, it also determined the movements of the stars, the cycles of time, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the destinies of individual souls. As recorded in Tafsir ibn Kathir, the pen's divine task goes beyond simple documentation. It is the very agent through which the will of Allah is brought into existence. The pen writes the fate of everything that happens in the world, recording it in the preserved tablet before any event takes place. Tafsir ibn Kathir 68:1. The preserved tablet is the eternal record where all knowledge of the universe is stored, untouched by time. The pen's task is not just to record, but also to establish the reality, meaning the entire universe's structure and flow are preordained through it. This establishes the divine order that governs all existence. However, as we will see, despite this divine decree, humans are still blessed with free will to make their own choices, and their actions are recorded by the pen in a way that reflects their own decisions. The pen in the context of Sufism. In Sufism, the pen is seen as a symbol of divine knowledge and cosmic wisdom. The Sufi tradition holds that the pen is the instrument through which spiritual wisdom is imparted to the hearts of the Awliya, meaning friends of Allah, and the Ulama, meaning scholars. Ibn Arabi, a renowned Sufi scholar, frequently mentioned the pen as a symbol of the spiritual connection between Allah and His creation, serving as the medium through which divine knowledge flows to the hearts of the believers. Narrated by Ibn Arabi, the pen is the source of all knowledge. It is through it that the secrets of the unseen are revealed to the chosen ones. The pen represents not only the material writing of events, but also the spiritual writing in the hearts of those who are connected to the divine. In this sense, the pen's role in spiritual awakening is profound, as it is through the divine decree written by the pen that the souls of the faithful are guided. Conclusion: the eternal circle of the pen. The pen and the light of Muhammad are inextricably intertwined in the divine plan, and both hold profound significance in understanding the creation of the universe and the divine will. The pen's task of recording all that will happen in the universe, its connection to the divine knowledge of Allah, and its role in revealing the Qur'an and guiding humanity are all interconnected in the greater tapestry of divine creation. The pen is not just a symbol of knowledge, it is a divine instrument that manifests the cosmic order. Through the pen, Allah's will was written down, the prophets received revelation, and the destinies of every soul were recorded. The pen's connection to the light of Muhammad is a symbol of the first cause of all creation, which illuminates the path of humanity toward ultimate knowledge and divine proximity. In the end, the pen represents the divine will manifest in written form, a bridge between the unseen realm and the visible universe, guiding creation through the eternal decrees written by Allah Himself. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoy this content and find it beneficial, we kindly ask you to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more authentic, faith-strengthening content. And let's continue this journey of knowledge together. Insha'Allah, see you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.